Please excuse the dead bodies. We might have had a bit of an issue in the prison. I want to say it wasn't my fault. I in no way got up and left the game running to go do something real quick, and all, things broke loose. I did not allow that to happen. That's what I'm going to say anyway. Yeah. And welcome back. Alright, so we are back with Prison Architect. We have some new updates, and we have a mod that I want to show you. Now, in this update, there were actually three updates they added, three features they added to the game. As you can tell by the title of the video, executions are in the game, but we're going to talk about that last, as there's quite a bit to talk about, and I'm going to have to go to a different map that actually has people on death row. And we'll talk about that. Well, I should discuss why I have to go to a different map, and some of the inner workings with death row, and why you may not want to invest in it, and why some people, if depending on the size of the prison, probably could invest in it. So, like I said, we'll talk about that last, but first off, let's get into it. And the first one is called reception. So we'll zoom in here, and as you can see, I have a reception area right here. Now, what the reception area does is anytime there's new prisoners brought in, they process the prisoners, and just like in real prisons, they actually have an area where they'll ask prisoners questions about themselves, about their mental health, check them out, they give them a physical, find out if they're all right, what ailments, if any, they have prior to being introduced into the general population. If they have something that may infect the general population, they will be sent to another cell until it's either cured or whatever they can do. So that's why now you have a reception. When the prisoners come in, they stop at the delivery area right here, and the guards will come out. They will take them in one at a time to this reception area right here. Then in the reception areas, they are searched. They are actually strip searched, and then they're given a new uniform. Now, the strip searching and all that before they go in actually helps reduce the amount of stuff that goes into the prison. Does it stop it altogether? No, of course not, because things will get made in the prison. Things will always find a way into a prison. You can't stop it. It's not 100%, but this helps reduce the amount of stuff that gets in there, and also provides another element of gameplay. Now, this is slower, which means your prisoners have take a little longer to get to a cell, so they're actually standing outside in the delivery area or into the reception area for just a little longer. So keep that in mind. Now, I have 3 guards to kind of help this process along, but you may have to have more guards that are free to come in and actually take the prisoner and put him into the reception area. Now, what the reception area also does is it eliminates putting prisoners just in the holding cell and then being taken into a cell. And even though I say that, and I still have a holding cell, I have a holding cell just in case. It's always probably a good idea to have something, just in case, because you never know. Now, I did have a kitchen right here, but it got repurposed to our next thing we're going to talk about, a little mod I found called Barbershop. It is now a barbershop. Now, the barbershop, what it does is, of course, like it says, it allows inmates to get their hair cut, and you can actually use the clippings from the hair to actually make wigs, so you can actually have a wig shop if you wanted one, which I thought was pretty neat. Now, to build it, all you have to have is a barber chair and a barber mirror. That's it. You come down here to staff. You can actually hire a barber chief. You'll actually teach people how to cut hair, and inmates can come in and get their hair cut. It actually does add a grant, and it also adds a program, and I believe it's down here, right here, how to cut hair. And so now you can have that. The next one is actually a lawyer. Yes, you can actually hire a lawyer and have one on staff. It's going to help you a lot with things that go on in your prison, some of the inner workings, and it's actually kind of nice. So we're going to go up here to bureaucracy. Now, the lawyer is going to be probably the most expensive and labor intensive part of the whole entire prison, and labor intensive as in time to get everything unlocked, and we'll kind of explain it as we go. So the first thing you can do is unlock the legal. It requires a warden. It's $5,000 and takes up to 12 hours to unlock them. Now, once you've unlocked them, you can hire a lawyer, and he will actually help your prison out with various different things within the prison as you unlock it here in the bureaucracy. First one is permanent punishments. Now, even inside the jail, there are certain inmates that just need to be separated from the general population for one reason or another, whether it be because of mental health. The other one is because they are physically violent towards other people, and so they need to be kept away. In your prison in here, there may be people who are constantly in trouble, constantly breaking the rules, constantly doing one thing or another, and they need to be put away. Now, one thing a lot of people were doing were they would compound the lockdown punishments or the solitary punishments. With this right here that's now approved, you can permanently punish somebody, which means you can permanently lock them down or permanently put them in solitaire. So we will click on an inmate right here, and right here you can go under punishment. You have different lockdowns and solitaires, and right here is the permanent ones. You can permanently lock this person down and permanently put them in solitaire. Small cells. Now, there is a mod, and I've discussed this in the last video, where you can actually build even smaller cells than this. What this small cell does is actually take away the 3 and 2 requirement, and I believe it is now a 2 and 2 requirement, so it's just a square. So basically a bed and a toilet. It's basically all they have rooms, which means you can actually put more cells in certain spaces than before, and the lawyer actually helped make that possible. So if you unlock the lawyer, unlock the small cells, you can actually build smaller cells. It'll help you out, but this costs $10,000 and actually takes 24 hours. Next, the lawyer helps you with death row. Now, this just unlocks permission and certain things within the game to allow you to build a death row and to actually get death row inmate. Requires a lawyer, $10,000, and takes up to 24 hours. Now, the last one is probably, other than the offshore tax haven, I would say expensive in terms of money and plus time. And it right here is reduce execution liability. When you execute somebody, and we'll get into this later here, when you execute somebody, you actually take on certain liabilities, and we will discuss the liabilities, like I said, here in a minute. And so what this does is reduces the liability that your prison takes on, mainly with money loss and stuff like that. It takes up to 72 hours and costs $10,000. That's why I say it's probably the next to the offshore tax is probably one of the more expensive one in terms of cost and time. So when you're looking at this, you have 72 hours, 24 hours, 24, 24. That's 6 days, well, 6.5 days to unlock all this stuff in the game. You're also looking at 10, 20, 30, 40,000 to unlock all this. So $40,000 and 6.5 days. That's quite a bit. That's why I say that the legal is probably the most, in terms of I'm going to say in terms of time and money, legal is probably the most expensive. So it is definitely something that I would probably wait until not only these are all unlocked, but you have a good amount, like I have right here, $300,000. That would probably be a good amount to wait until you get to, in order to spend that much on the legal system. Now next, we're going to get into execution, and we're actually going to come down here. So right here I have my execution or death row. You can have it anywhere you want, you can do anything you want, but there are certain elements that you have to make sure you have in order to execute somebody. Now when you do execute somebody, there's actually a checklist to follow in order to successfully execute a prisoner. Now, one of the things I did right here is I actually made sure one of them was always going to be followed, is a path down to the execution chamber. So instead of building a cell on the other side of the prison and then having execution on, I just cut that out and went straight to it, death row being its own building. Now, as you can see, I don't have a death row inmate. The death row inmate that I did get had a clemency of 42%, which means he was 42% likely to be pardoned by the governor or have his sentence appealed. And so I went ahead and let him do his appeals board, and he was actually approved, and he's now actually a maximum security prisoner. All right, so like I said, he's out there somewhere in the prison. So I actually have a map that actually has somebody who is on death row. So we're going to look at that, and we are going to actually go through the steps to execute somebody, so I can show you that, and so you can get a better idea of how to do that. And we're back through the magic of editing. Now this is a prison that actually has a death row inmate in it. And so, as you can see, they have kind of a nice cell. His own TV, toilet, shower, exercise. So yeah, his own little everything he needs. Now we click on the prisoner. The prisoner's wearing black to let you know that they're on death row. Now the clemency right there, the likelihood is at 40%. So if I was to let this person go through the appeals board, most likely this person is going to walk away and become a maximum security prisoner. And so that is one thing you really have to look out for. If they have 40%, or if they really probably, I'm going to say 25% or higher, chances are they're going to become a maximum security prisoner. And so the higher the percentage, of course, the higher the percentage, they're going to go to maximum security, and they'll be taken off death row. So for this, we're actually going to go and schedule the execution, and we're going to show what happens when you don't do this, and it will also take you through some of the steps too. So it's one of those elements of the game where you really have to be sure you want to go through all this. And so we'll go ahead and we'll hit the schedule. So once you schedule, right here, as you can see, you have execution underway. This thing pops up, you have a schedule, everything else goes away, and this list pops up. So you have initiate prison-wide lockdown. So we're going to click on it, we're going to authorize it. So now you have prisoners who are going back to their cells. Alright, and we're back. It took a little longer than I thought. Some of the prisoners were actually glitched in walls, and so it took a little bit to get them out of there and to get them situated. So we're actually going to assemble the execution detail. So we have the execution witness here, the priest coming down. We will actually follow him. So you can get a sense of just what all is involved in executing a prisoner, and why you can't just set up a continuous execution prison. You actually have to be on death row. You can't just execute a prisoner just to execute a prisoner. You have to follow these steps. You have to be willing to accept the consequences of doing executing the right way or end up the wrong way. So right now he's getting his last rites, words, and stuff like that. So escort witness to facility. So right now we have witnesses that will come in and sit right here. Normally on death row, you have family, you have witnesses from the crime, you have lawyers, you have different people that will come in and actually sit on an execution and, you know, basically make sure it's done right, make sure that it's fair and everything is done according to the letter of the law. So right there you have his family, some other witnesses. Alright, and so, you know, some family may show up, some may not. So, I mean, this is optional to them. So here we have escort prisoner to facility. And there is no switch. You yourself do not throw a switch to execute this person. Now I say that, but kind of in a way right here, I guess you could argue technically you do throw the switch, but in the game there is no switch button. There is nothing that says, I guess technically you are by clicking authorize to execute. So we'll go ahead and do that. And it's just a click. That's it. His eyes are shut. He's dead. So it's kind of nice. I mean, that's it done. Then once that's done, you click on the final report. So it's kind of small writing. So the mandated execution of this person was carried out on, and actually gives you the time by electric chair in the presence of witness. And standard compensation of $10,000 is awarded to the Institute for their part in the process. So you actually get $10,000 for executing the person. Now that's just one of many different messages that you could get. Technically, he had a clemency of 40%. I could have done the appeals board, and chances are he would have become a maximum security prison. High enough, and they could have said, you know, wait, whoa, this person would have been forgiven. You shouldn't have executed the prisoner, and so you may actually get a penalty for it. As a warden, you will get a warning. The next time you are told if you do it again, you're fired. If you basically execute 3 people wrong, that's it, game over. So there actually is a failure option if you do go execution happy and want to start executing every death row inmate that comes in. So you got to be very careful, and you got to be very sure that you want to execute that person. So make sure that you follow your steps. If they have a clemency rating, I'm going to say 25% or more, go ahead with the review board. If they have a clemency rating of 4%, no. No, don't worry about it. Just go ahead with the execute. Those are some of the major ones, and a lot of neat things added to the game. It looks like, from what I can tell from doing some of the research, that they're trying to add some major stuff, some really nice things into the game every month, and trying to, like I said in the probably I think the first video, trying to get it out of alpha into regular release. That is Prison Architect. There's the updates. I want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I will try to put out some new and different videos out every week. I'm going to try to really hit this hard over the next few weeks and get some more stuff out there for you to watch. Once again, thank you for watching. Subscribe, and I will see you next time. So long.